Am I audible to all of you? Just write in the chat box. Okay. So I am sharing my today's presentation slides. So as you can see on your screen, the, that that this was the topic we were we were last discussing in our last class. So these are the rules of operator precedence grammar. So these are the rules. So according to the first rule, if we have theta 1 and theta 2 are the operators, and if precedence of theta 1 is higher than that of theta 2, so it means we can write it in this form. Theta 1 is greater than theta 2, and also if we write as theta 2 at the first place, then theta 2 is less than theta 1. So as theta 1 is having higher precedence, so always theta 1 is greater than theta 2, whether it comes first or it comes at the second. So if precedence of theta 1 and theta 2 are same, then uh, theta 1 is greater than theta 2 and theta 2 is greater than theta 1 in case of left associative. So we know that the left associative operators are plus, minus, into, and divide. So in this way, these are the left associative operators. So according to this rule, if in an expression, if plus comes before minus in the expression, then it follows the left associative rule. It means that the plus is having greater precedence than minus, because both plus and minus having the same precedence, but plus comes before minus, and both follows the left associative principle. So in this case, we write plus is having greater precedence than minus. If suppose minus comes before plus in the expression, then we can write that minus is having greater precedence than plus. According to rule number B of second rule, uh, if theta 1 is having less than theta 2 and theta 2 is having greater than theta 2 is less than theta 1 in case of right associative. So we know that exponential operator and equal to operator follows the right associativity rule. So in the case, if the expression contains two exponential operator, like a exponent b, then b exponent c, then in this case, as it follows right associative, then in this case we need to calculate b plus c first, and after that we are going to calculate uh, this from A to this. So because exponent follows the right associative principle. In the same way, if we have uh, in the case of assignment operator, if we have A equal to B equal to C, then in that case also we first calculate the B equal to C, and after that we are going to calculate the A equal to and the rest of the expression, because it follows the right associative principle. So these are the rules. So moving to the next slide. So I am just enlarge this so that it can be easily You can easily see these slides clearly. So, as we discussed earlier, that an important feature of operator precedence grammar that it removes the ambiguity from the grammar. So, how the ambiguity can be removed from the grammar? As you can see, this is our grammar. A grammar is given to us, which consists of three productions. The first is E plus E, then the second production is E into E, and the third is E produces ID. And we need to produce a string which is based on this grammar, and we need to produce ID plus ID into ID. So we already know that when we are drawing the parse tree of this string, then it produces two parse tree. So according to our condition, that as two parse trees are drawn, so it means that the grammar is ambiguous. So these are the two parse trees which are drawn from this grammar. If we consider the plus first, then this is our parse tree, and if we consider into first, then this is our parse tree. And as two parse trees are drawn from the same grammar, so this grammar is ambiguous. So how? But with the use of operator precedence grammar, this ambiguity is removed. So how we remove the ambiguity, and which of these two parse trees is considered as the final one, uh, and the second one is not considered. So as we know that uh, in order to parse the string from the parse tree, we have the rule that id plus, suppose we are writing this string which we need to parse from the operator precedence grammar. So according to the first step, we need to write dollar at the beginning and at the end of the string, and after that we need to give the precedences, or between every terminal. So as we know that id is having the highest precedence than any of the terminals, so we write it as id is greater than dollar, then id is greater than plus, then id is greater than plus, id is greater than into, id is greater than into, and id is greater than dollar. So we write all the precedence between every terminal of the string. Now we we going to uh, evaluate uh, the the terminal between the less than sign and the greater than sign. So that will be considered as the handle. So as id is between the less than sign and the greater than sign, so this id is considered as the handle, and this handle has been replaced by the non-terminal which produces it. So basically this id is replaced by the e which produces it. We already discussed this in our previous class. So this id is replaced by e, then the plus sign is there. After that, this id is also replaced by e, and then the into sign is there, and lastly this id is also replaced by e. So dollar is present at the beginning and at the end. And now we know that the operator precedence grammar is considered between the terminal. So we need to remove this. So we are not considering here the non-terminals. So basically our grammar is reduced to this form. This form. And as we know that the dollar is having the least precedence than any of the non-terminal, so we again give the precedence in this grammar. So plus is having greater precedence than dollar, then into is having the greater precedence than plus, so into is having greater precedence, and also into is having greater precedence than dollar. So now we are scanning this string from left to right, and here we are encountering the less into in the less than and the greater than bracket. So this into is considered as the handle, and we first consider this into because this into is having greater precedence than plus. So now, uh, out of these two parse tree, which is going to considered? This is the first parse tree and this is the second parse tree. So as you can see here, into is having greater precedence than plus. So out of these two parse tree, here in the second parse tree, this into is having greater precedence than the plus. So out of these two parse tree, according to our operator precedence parsing, this parse tree is considered because in our string into is having greater precedence than the plus. So this parse tree is having into having greater precedence than the plus. So this parse tree is considered, and the first parse tree is not considered because in this parse tree plus is having greater precedence than the into. So by using the operator precedence grammar, we remove the ambiguity from the grammar. So this is the special characteristic of the operator precedence grammar. And sometimes in the objective exams also, they asked which of the following grammar reduces or removed the ambiguity from the grammar. So operator precedence grammar is the answer. And by doing this procedure, we removed the ambiguity from the grammar by using the operator precedence grammar. So all of you understand it, just write in the chat box. So by using this procedure, we remove the ambiguity from the grammar by using operator precedence grammar. Okay. So just remember this concept. This concept is very important in objective exams, in your competitive exams, in GATE exams, and whenever it has been asked in your university exam, you just give detailed explanation by using this type of example. So moving to the next slide. Now in today's class, we are going to practice some important questions which are coming in your competitive exams and also in your university exam. So this is the question given to you, which is based on operator precedence grammar. So the attributes of the three arithmetic operators in some programming language are given below. So in this table, you are given three operators plus, minus, and into, and their precedences are given. Then associativity is also given, and their arity means they are of binary, unary, or ternary form. So these are given to you, and you need to calculate the value of this expression in this language. So just try it. Uh, 2 minutes are given to you. Just evaluate the value of this expression based on this table. So whatever has been given in the table, just concentrate it and write your answer in the chat box. Okay, one answer is given by Komal Soni. Her answer is 9. Others need to try also. Okay, three answers are given by the students. So how many are there? Only 13 students are there. Now last minute is there. Other student need to try also. Okay. So time's up. So so 9 is the right answer. So all of you so all of you evaluated correctly. So this is the question which was asked in the GATE exam. So it is based on the operator precedence parser. So uh, just remember the concept what we studied in the operator precedence parser. So this type of question can be easily solved from you. So let's move to the next slide. So this is the question given to you. So you need to answer out of these four alternatives which is the correct one. So the question is consider the following parse tree for the expression. So this is the expression given to you: A hash B dollar C dollar D hash E hash F. So this is the expression given to you, and this is the parse tree which is constructed from this expression involving two binary operators, dollar and hash. So dollar and hash is are considered as the binary operators. So which one of the following is correct for the given parse tree? So these are the four alternatives. Just I am numbering it: 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you need to check out of these four alternatives which alternative is correct. So 2 minutes are given to you. Now try this question. last minute. Okay. So, so now we are going to solve this question. So as you can see here, first we need to decide that the two operators which uh, the operators is having left associative or the right associative. So as you can see that while considering this parse tree, you can see that how many times we have this hash. So we have this hash. Uh, just a minute. Some participants are there in the lobby also. So you can see that the hash is having 3 times. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So if we are going to evaluate this hash from left to right, then it means the left one going to evaluate first and the right one will be evaluated at the last, as we are scanning it from left to right, this string. So you can see from the parse tree that in this parse tree e hash f is evaluated first. So it means it is having hash is having right associativity because e hash f is evaluated first. So the hash is having the right associativity. So it means the fourth option which is given by a student is basically wrong, because in the fourth option it is given that the hash is having the left associativity, but it is wrong because the hash is having the right associativity. And in the same way we need to also check uh, whether dollar is having the left associativity or the right associativity. So as we are moving this input string, then we check that dollar is having first occurrence between the B and C and having the second occurrence between the C and D. So out of these two, which is going to evaluate first? So as you can see from the parse tree that B dollar C is evaluated first. So it means that that this dollar is having the left associativity. So it means that we need to choose the option where dollar is having the left associativity and hash is having the right associativity. So just choose the option. So out of these four options, two options are available to us: the second and the third option, uh, which is which can be correct, and we eliminated the first and the fourth option. So now we going to check that out of these two, which is having the which is correct out of these two. So as you can see here that uh, the higher precedence operator is evaluated first because it is having the greater precedence than the other. So as you can see from the parse tree, So out of dollar and the hash, if we evaluate this, then uh, we started from this, like b dollar c, then the result of b dollar c has been evaluated with dollar d, and after that we going to evaluate the e hash f, and after this its result will be going with this, and finally this is evaluated. So it means that the hash is having evaluated at the last. So it means that uh, the precedence of dollar is higher than hash, because dollar is evaluated first. So our option is the third option is correct. So this is the correct option, because the dollar is having the higher precedence, so it is evaluated first, and and the hash is having the least precedence out of these two, so hash is going to evaluate at the last. So this option, in the third option, dollar has high precedence and is left associative, and hash is right associative. So third option is correct and not the second option, because in the second option, hash is having the higher precedence is given, but once we are evaluating this parse tree, the hash is going to be evaluated at the last. So the higher precedence operator will be evaluated at the first, then the other operator. So the third option is correct. So only I think Ayushi Soni has given the only the right answer. So just concentrate on the concepts. So all of you understand it. Just write in the chat box how we going to eliminate the other options which are not relevant, and how we are going to choose the options. So this question also asked in your GATE exam. So in the GATE exam, some tricky questions are asked. So just concentrate on your concept. So this question is also based on the operator precedence drama. Okay. So moving to the next question. So as you can see here, a question is given to you. So consider two binary operators. This is exponential operator basically, and this is the reverse of exponential operator. So just these are the two binary operators with the precedence of the operator this being the lower than the operator. This means this operator having the higher precedence uh, than the downward arrow. So operator this upward arrow is right associativity, while the downward arrow is left associativity. So these are the conditions given to you in the question. So which one of the following represents the parse tree? So you need to find the parse tree. Uh, so now first you need to construct the parse tree of this expression. Uh, just do it by yourself in 2 minutes. Just try to construct the parse tree of this expression according to the conditions given in the question. So you need to construct the parse tree by yourself in 2 minutes, and after that I am giving you the hint how you are going to construct the parse tree. just write this expression on your copy. Now these are the four options given to you. So you need to find out which of these parts tree is correct, which is represented by the expression. So just write the number in the chat box. Which of these options is correct? Okay, only four students are given the answer. The rest of the student also need to write their answers in the chat box. Okay. So now you all understand that which of these parts tree is the answer of the expression. So the B parts tree is correct, and it is the parts tree of the expression. So the trick is that uh, in the question you have given that out of these two operators which is having the higher precedence, and the upward operator is given the higher precedence, so it means the upward operator will be evaluated first. So uh, the two expressions or the two expression which of the upward operator is evaluated first. So first this is evaluated, and also it is right associative operator. So these two will be evaluated first, and after that uh, the downward operator is evaluated after the upward operator. So after that the downward operator is evaluated after the upward operator. So that's why this parse tree is the answer of that expression. So now moving to the next question. So this is the question I already given to you in the assignment. This question is of basically of the top down parsing. So in your assignment, many of the student have given the wrong answer to this question. So the four in the question, four parts are given to you, and I think all the four parts are not given correctly by many of the students. So in the first part you need to calculate the first 10 follows, so I am discussing it here so that you will going to find out what the problem in answering this type of question. So the first part you will going to calculate the first and the follow sets of the grammar, and in the second part you are going to consider the ll1 parsing table, And in the third part, most of the students are given the wrong answer in the third part. So give a leftmost derivation of the string. A string is given to you A, E, B, B. So you need to give the leftmost derivation of this string. And in the fourth part, uh, a production is added, X produces BS, then you need to also calculate whether after adding this production the grammar is LL1 or not. And here it is given that to show that if this production is added, then the grammar will no longer be LL1. So you need to just show it. So I am just discussing it answer. So moving to the next slide. So these are the first and the follow symbol. So just tally your answer with this model answer. So the first will include these five A, B, C, D, E, and the follow of the first symbol will always include this dollar. So many of the students are not included dollar in your answer. So this has to be included in the follow of the first symbol. And these are the first symbols of the rest of the non-terminals, and these are the follow symbols. And after this, so only 5 minutes are remaining, so this is our last question we are going to discussing. And these out from this table, from first and follow table, we are going to construct the LL1 percent table. So as you know that the first will consider here in the the first of S will have A, B, C, D, E. So in this way you are going to place these productions in the A, B, C, D, E corresponding to S, and in this way you are going to fill it. Just tally your answer with this model answer. So most of you are given correctly, but some of you are having mistakes in it. So just tally your answer with this model answer. So moving to the next slide. So most of you are given a wrong answer for the third part of the question. So the leftmost derivation of the string, we are going to produce the leftmost derivation which we already studied in the theory of computation subject. So by using this method, that first symbol is S, then we need A at the first place. Then out of the productions of S, we going to choose a production in which A is at the starting point. So we are choosing this production AS. Then we need to replace this S with AB. Then we need to replace this A with XYZ. So that's how we are going to proceed from the leftmost derivation. In the leftmost derivation, we need to replace the leftmost derivation. Like here, only S is present. Here, only A is present, but here out of X, Y, Z. So we need to replace this the leftmost non-terminal. So here in we need to replace this H with the epsilon, then Y is going to be present. Then here we need to replace this Y with the epsilon, then Z is present, then this Z has been replaced with ES, and in this way finally we got this string AEBB from the leftmost derivation. So this we already covered in our theory of computation subject. We already covered how we going to find the leftmost derivation of the string and also the rightmost derivation of the string, and then after that we're going to construct the parse tree. So this is the right answer of the third part of the question. And in the last part, if we add the production XB, then there are changes in the first and the follow of this grammar. Then the first is changes to this these are added. So this S, A, and B are added, and so this is the model answer. Now moving to the next slide, and this is the LL1 parser table. So we need to check whether LL1 parser table is made or not. So you can see here that in this entry means A versus B entry, the entry A comma B will contain both entries. A produces epsilon and A produces XYZ. So this makes the grammar not LL1, as two productions are there in a single cell. That means the grammar is not LL1. So now all of you understand it. Just write in the chat box. So up till now, whatever we studied in the first unit and in the second unit, that will come in your midterm examination. And your midterm examination date date was released. So you need to prepare it well. The first unit and whatever we covered up till now in the second unit are in your syllabus for the first midterm examination. So thank you very much. Now you can leave this meeting.